Welcome to a brand new series of UHB Sport, and in the weekend that saw the Formula One Grand Prix season kick off in Melbourne, Australia, here on the other side of the hemisphere, Silverstone is putting the finishing touches to its incredible new £5 million pit lane complex. And bang on cue, the always entertaining Britcar series swung into action with the first weekend of the 2011 British Endurance Championship and a total of 41 cars competing for glory. Well now, if you were Mazda and looking to enter your cracking little MX-5 into this race, who would you pick as opposition? Well, I guarantee you wouldn't pick a fight with Porsche and Ferrari, but that's exactly what Mazda UK decided to do. To explain why, we caught up with their PR boss, Graham Fudge.
Well, we got MX-5, and MX-5 is the icon of our brand. And what we wanted to do is demonstrate that this car is really a giant killer. So we're put into Britcar, and it's going to be competing against Porsches, Lotus, Aston Martin, Ferrari. And we feel we have a very good chance because of the reliability, the handling, and the power and performance of this car.
But to be competitive, they're going to need top drivers. For the 2011 season, Mazda have secured the talents of the highly experienced Mark Ticehurst. He's going to be partnered by Auto Express journalist Owen Mildenhall, who's no mean driver himself. UHB Sport asked them how the MX-5 GT was shaping up.
The car's been fantastic, straight out of the box. The car only turned a wheel on Monday this week, so to arrive here at Silverstone with it as it is a fantastic achievement from obviously Mazda UK, Jota Sport. We've got a little way to go on setup, but the basic package has so much potential.
And what do you expect to learn from today?
Well, I think today is two things really. We know we've got some work to do on setup, so we're going to carry on looking at that during the race and see how the car lasts over a race distance. The other thing is durability, so also the car only turned a wheel for the first time on Monday, so we've been 100% reliable so far, so just going to carry on looking at that through the course of the race.
Well, all very well, but in this David versus Goliath challenge, Mazda are going to need to boost the performance of their standard production car to its very limits. So in partnership with race engineering specialist Jota, they've come up with this, the lightweight Mazda MX-5 GT. So what makes the car so special?
We've got a race engine in there, race gearbox. The car's a lot lighter. The car's now 850 kilos. We've upped the power. The power is now 275 brake horsepower when it was 160. So we've made a fair few modifications to the car. So although it is still an MX-5, it is a little bit more powerful and a bit more potent than the standard production car.
How competitive do you think you can be on your first day out?
I think we've got to be realistic in our first run, because as I say, we haven't done a huge amount of testing, but I think the pace we're running at now, we know we can improve on that, and we've just got to try and maintain that through the race. So I think as long as we've got the reliability and we do a good consistent job, you can't rule out getting a decent result, but I think a finish today would be a great result given how new the car is.
Well, the guys are clearly realistic about their chances in the early part of the season, but that's not going to stop them having a crack at the podium. Qualifying was tough though, and the team began the race at the back of their group after an oil spill from another vehicle caused this spectacular spin-off. So let's have a quick recap. The team are taking on Porsches, Ferraris and Aston Martins in a 3-hour endurance race, and they're starting well down the grid. Well, the drama didn't end there. With Mark Ticehurst out first, the MX-5 GT showed it was well up to the task. Despite the placing near the end of the grid, Mark quickly gained places on the other cars. With an hour gone, things were looking really good for Mazda. Some inspired driving by Mark Ticehurst saw the MX-5 hold off competition from much more powerful rivals. But then, disaster struck. A tussle on a tight bend led to contact, which at first seemed to have left both parties unscathed. On the next straight though, Mark reports a problem. It seemed the contact with the other vehicle had caused some damage to the drivetrain, and Mark's forced to bring the car in. After a quick inspection, the team decides to go for an early driver change, hopefully reducing the need for another pit stop. With Owen Mildenhall taking the wheel, it's time to find out from Mark Ticehurst what actually happened.
The car was running well, we were settled into a pace that we could maintain, but just turning through club chicane, it felt like I was tagged by a Ferrari on the right rear. We're still not sure if that's the case. We've got a small bit of damage on the right rear, but the car went into a big overslide.
But after just one lap out in the car, Owen discovers the damage has gone deeper and is struggling to keep a steady line on the straights. Forced to bring the car in, it's a crushing blow for the team and everything looks pretty desperate.
So is it progressive or sudden?
To be honest, because I knew there was quite a problem, I didn't push it through seconds. As soon as I got on the straight, you could feel it moving, so I took it fairly steady on the way in. Because as the speed increases, it feels like it gets worse.
The only option now is a full inspection of the transmission, which reveals that 2 mounting bolts have been weakened by the collision. The team, though, still feel they have a chance, and with frantic activity, the rear suspension is replaced and the car is sent back out onto the track with an hour of racing still remaining. With the car now on song, it was up to Auto Express driver Owen Mildenhall to make an impression on the leaders, but with light fading and running out of laps, it was just too much to make up. Incredibly, despite the collision, the MX-5 was still running in 6th place in its class before the race was finished early. So how did the 2 drivers feel they'd performed?
Yeah, the great thing was that it's the first of many races this year. We've managed to put a lot of miles on the car, which, you know, it's an extended test, and so therefore putting the miles on the car, we've learnt a lot. The team can go away. There's a lot of things to be learned, which we've learned. We can come out next time much better.
Owen, how was the car handling out there?
Well, like Mark says, we've learned a huge amount. Obviously, we had a problem with the differential from the contacts. We had to go to a road car differential, which isn't ideal for what we're doing, but actually we were doing very similar times, so it's quite impressive. But I think we just learned a huge amount. We've got a long job list now for the next race, and this is what motor racing is all about. We've done 1 day of testing before this weekend, and all these little teething problems we've got to be expected, and we've learned an enormous amount about the car, and the potential of the car is enormous. So the straight line speed, stability in the braking, it's fantastic. So I think we can't wait for the next one then.
Well done, guys. See you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, full credit to those 2 for efforts, and with 8 races to go, including that incredible 24-hour endurance race at the end of the season, I think this story has only just started. Well, for Mazda, it's definitely a case of watch this space. So join me, Matt Teal, next time on UHB Sport. And to finish, let's just see some more of that amazing time-lapse footage of the car being built.